Joe Rogan gave Nancy Pelosi a full-scale takedown. Make sure not to miss it.
The Nancy Pelosi thing. Anna's a goober. He sneaks it in. She's like, I came in here to talk about the anniversary of Medicaid. Like, she cares about Medicaid.
In a recent podcast, Joe delved further into Pelosi's allegations of insider trading and saw an opportunity to disparage the whole political establishment.
You look at, like, who's making money on the stock market, it is not all Nancy Pelosi. It is red, blue, red, blue, red, blue.
That is the reason we are breaking it all down today. Simple common sense is required here, not blind party devotion. If you agree, click the subscribe button and let's get started.
The Nancy Pelosi thing? The new one?
She was being interviewed and then was like, I didn't want to talk about that.
Anderson Cooper.
Yeah.
Put that on. Anderson Cooper, he sneaks it in. She's like, I came in here to talk about the anniversary of Medicaid. Like, she cares about Medicaid. Here, let's watch this because it's so funny.
Let me just read what he said. I'm sorry that we had some sort of technical issue. Nancy Pelosi became rich.
Why do you have to read that? We're here to talk about the 60th anniversary of Medicaid. That's what I agreed to come to talk about.
But I
and
wanted
what that means in the election.
I wanted to give you a chance just to respond. He accused you of insider trading. What's your response to that?
It's ridiculous.
Let's get this straight now. Insider trading for Congress is prohibited by the so-called Pelosi Act, which Nancy Pelosi supports. Such things cannot be invented. She does not directly own any stock, but her husband does, and he does so in a very profitable way. According to recent figures, their combined net worth is an astounding $413 million. Naturally, making money is not illegal. But because Pelosi has been in public office her entire career, something is obviously wrong. She quickly sidestepped the subject when pressed, turning instead to Trump.
The president has his own exposure, so he's always projecting. And let's not give him any more time on that, please. We're going forward here, and I'm very proud of my family, and while he might make fun of us, while somebody inspired by him breaks into our home and hits my husband in a deadly fashion, hits my husband over the head, and he thinks that's a riot, I'd rather not go into some of my other complaints about him right now. Rather to talk about the 60th anniversary of Medicaid.
Okay. First of all, what crazy projection. She immediately turned herself into a victim. She immediately, went from... Jake Tapper's like, what's your response? Oh, this is ridiculous. Nothing was inside.
Joe Rogan noticed the shift right away and criticized her abrupt shift to Trump as a textbook example of projection. He perceived it as a desperate attempt to divert the conversation, making her a victim instead of responding to a straightforward inquiry.
So nuts that you have gone from... You made an insane amount of money. A lot of people say you're insider trading. What's your response to this? Oh, my husband got hit in the head with a hammer.
They're all black belts at deflection.
He thinks it's funny. It's because it's all because the president has a lot of exposure.
Indeed. Note that Tapper didn't urge for a follow-up or interrupt. If he had, we most likely would have seen fireworks. And there is plenty of stuff here. The Pelosis are known for their ability to time stock moves precisely. Only a few months before to the FTC's probe last year, they sold Microsoft stock. Just a coincidence? Possibly. 3 months before the DOJ filed a case, they then sold off Visa stock. And those are not isolated incidents. A lengthy history of commerce has uncannily coincided with significant government initiatives, precisely what Joe looked into. Let's listen to his opinion.
When you look at the decisions, like she dumped stock and then 3 months later, some big bill comes down the line that fucks that company.
Yeah.
She buys stock and then 3 months later, some big bill that comes down that, they're funding for this new project. It's crazy. More than a dozen U.S. officials sold stocks before Trump's tariff sent the market plunging. Of course they did. Watching the panic in her face, realizing that Trump is now president, and they're talking about literally going after her for insider trading, and the undeniable evidence that they have had better results on the stock market than literally anyone ever.
Yeah.
And they have access to information about laws that are going to be passed.
Yeah.
If that's not insider trading, what the...
Let's use some figures to illustrate Joe's thesis. Pelosi outperformed large hedge funds with a 54% increase in its portfolio last year. That year wasn't just fantastic, it was a Wall Street miracle. And she's not by alone. More than 20 other members of Congress almost doubled the average gain of 24.9% for the S&P 500, according to The Independent. Additionally, this is not a party issue. Both parties are represented among these parliamentarians.
There's a reason why that whole ability to trade stocks is still in position, and it's because they want it there. They make a ton of money. The general
they have
public,
all the insider information.
so they have to figure out at what point in time is this too dangerous, and who's willing to like make this a law. It's like they're playing chicken. Like, as long as they don't do it, as long as they don't do it, then they can still make a ton of money. But if you look at the numbers, like if you look at like who's making money on the stock market, it is not all Nancy Pelosi. It is red, blue, red, blue, red, blue. It's pretty much down the middle.
But Nancy Pelosi isn't the only person involved. According to Joe Rogan, the true discussion is about the entire political establishment. Everyone is wondering what he is asking. How can so many public servant MPs accumulate incredible fortune that can change people's lives?
Hanging out with Harry, the senator from in South Dakota or whatever, and Harry's got a yacht. Like, how'd you get a yacht, Harry? Like, Bobby's got his own private jet. How'd you get your own jet, Bob? You're a congressman. Like, what are you doing? And those people that are able to generate that kind of wealth, and I think she's like the poster girl for it, unfortunately, but it's not her. Like, who's made the most?
Indeed. Yes, indeed. Many candidates for Congress begin their campaigns with money. It's like a millionaire's club with a political twist. However, this is what makes people wonder. Many people witness a sharp increase in their net worth after obtaining office. Not a few minor, life-altering changes. Some of it might be attributed to speaking fees or book sales. However, try convincing a toddler that nothing unusual is happening. Elon Musk also voiced his opinion on this matter, and needless to say, he wasn't holding back.
Plenty of conservative that are insider trading in Congress.
Yeah.
Plenty.
Insider trading, and just there's the curious case of how do people in Congress or whatever become wealthy over time?
Extremely wealthy.
Yes.
On a $170,000 a year salary.
It's like literally impossible.
Yeah. No one else does that.
It's literally impossible.
If you find out that this guy has a $170,000 a year job, you're like, oh, he's doing okay. He's all right.
Yeah.
And then you're like, wait a minute, why does he have $50 million?
Yes.
What is he doing?
Correct.
Yeah.
And I think like the more accurate thing would be to say like, what is the family value?
Elon's statement is especially poignant when considering a particular situation. Even though he is speaking about MPs generally, the discussion often returns to Nancy Pelosi and her husband Paul, whose portfolio is constantly under review.
How much does their spouse earn? Do they have a mysteriously wealthy spouse?
Right.
And
do they have a spouse that's really good at insider trading?
Yeah.
Like Paul Pelosi.
Really good.
Yeah, he's great at trading. He's such a good trader.
Yeah. I think maybe we should pay politicians more, frankly, because it reduces the forcing function for graft. Either pay politicians nothing or maybe a lot more.
Yeah, but the problem is if you paid them a lot more, they're still not going to make as much money as they would insider trading.
As you browse through this thread and observe the strategically placed trades, your curiosity grows. The situation is complicated and involves more than just one couple. In this system, wealth and power appear to be mutually reinforcing. Why do so many members of Congress suddenly become experts on Wall Street? Or is it a sign of something that's much bigger?